Hi everyone. For my A2 literacy strategy, I had Reader's Theater, and for Reader's Theater, it's when you take a script from either a textbook or just a regular book, or you can even come up with your own, and you give students parts of the text, and you have the students rehearse the text, and they make basically a performance to give to the class. They don't need to have props or anything. They don't use costumes. They basically just read the text with emotion in their voice and give a performance to the class. By having them doing Reader's Theater, it allows them to be more engaged in the text and it lets them bring the text to life. It gets them to pretend to be a character almost, but not having to dress the part, just act the part. It also enhances their fluency by having them rereading the text and by rehearsing the text. It also helps increase their speed while they're reading, and it gets them more comfortable to read in front of the class instead of doing popcorn reading and they don't know what they're going to read. With Reader's Theater, it tells them exactly what they're going to read and when they're going to read it so they can practice it before reading in front of the class. So to use this strategy in the classroom, you're either most likely the teacher or the students are going to select a text. They're going to read the text on their own, and then students can either volunteer to read each part or the teacher can decide who reads which part. Once they have decided who is going to read which parts, they're going to rehearse their parts in the production. They're going to reread the text multiple times, decide which kind of facials they're going to make when they're reading, if they're going to change their voice at all for their reading, if they're going to do any gestures. This is going to help the audience and the performer get into character and interpret who they're trying to be, and it'll allow the students or the audience to have more of a memory of what they're reading or what is being performed and who they're supposed to be interpreting. The last part of the Reader's Theater is going to be staging the production. You can either have this on a stage in an auditorium, or you can have it at the front of your classroom and have all the presenters come up at the same time and have them either sitting and the person talking can stand up, or if they're all standing, have the person talking step forward just so that people know who's talking. And then some people have it, or sometimes they have it, where they only have one person out on the stage or in the front of the classroom at a time, and then when they're done speaking, another person will come up when it's their turn. When you're picking what kind of text you want to use, make sure you use one with a lot of conversations, because if you don't use one with a lot of conversations, there's going to be a lot of narrative parts, and those aren't really as, I don't want to say much fun, but they're not really as much, the people that are trying to interpret the character are not going to have as much fun when it's just the narrator talking the whole time about them and not actually the character talking. So this is what a Reader's Theater could look like. So what I did was I color-coded each person and I put which each person is up at top. And then as you go down, you can see who's reading which part by what color it is. And each person can they can print off this and they can make their own notes on their paper, or they can just keep reading it, decide how they want to read it, which facials they want to use as they're reading, if they want to change their voice at all while they're reading. So I had it, so I didn't actually put one person in my group to each person. I have it so they can volunteer as to who wants what. There is one part for each person in the group, and this is just a short passage that's from the book. To me, it just had it could show a lot of emotion with it, with how Mercy is really angry with Edna right now, and Raleigh's trying to calm her down, so I just felt like it was a good part to have as the text. I think Reader's Theater is good for any grade level and any age. If it's younger levels, I would use an easier text, or maybe make sure that they know exactly what they're doing and go over the reading with them and help them decide what they're going to do with their voices. It would help with them, or it'd help them with their fluency as they're getting older and practicing their reading. For older grades like high school, they could do it with longer text, or maybe for Shakespeare or something they could do it with, where there's just a lot of characters. It might help them pick out which characters who, or how it affects each text. yeah, I really like the Reader's Theater idea, and I think that's a great option for the students to use. Thank you.